Hey guys, it's Jeff here again, back at the Florida house, and today we are doing the outside paint job on this house. This is the Graco Magnum X5. It is available at your local Home Depot. For all the issues that I have with these big box stores, here's a situation where they actually have a great product at a great price. They are competing against the professional paint stores with this product line, okay? The X5 is just a little bit smaller than the X7 that I've used in the past, but that one's locked away in storage up in Canada. So I had to buy another one, and that's right, it was about 400 bucks. Not terrible. Now, when you consider that for 400 bucks, you now have the professional tool to do this yourself, now you're making money, okay? The other thing you're gonna need is this little gizmo right here. This is for masking. This is your tape and drape product, okay? It's just a little handle, it comes from 3M. If you can't find this at your local Home Depot, go to the local Sherwin-Williams. This is the professional tool. It's about 30 bucks, and you can buy the plastic refills and the blue tape. They even come with the tape already attached to the plastic. If you find it difficult to manage the scenario, okay, you can cheat that way. The other thing you're gonna need, of course, is a knife and one of these. Now, let me just get this big bad boy on the screen. This is called a spray shield. And the idea here is it's just a big flat piece of aluminum with an adjustable handle that you can use to go up against a material, and you can seal off where you don't want to get spray paint. I am going to be using today a Sherwin-Williams paint. It's not their top of the line, it's somewhere else in between. My price was 40 bucks a gallon for an exterior high quality paint. That is a hell of a deal. And if you have yet to follow my advice and open up commercial contractor accounts at your suppliers, you can go ahead and go to the box store and pay $65. That's between you and God. All right, now let's get on with this. Preparation is key. You can see how that stretches out. And we are going to just set that up at the top of the window here. Now, if I am not completely comfortable with the way that this turns out, I can always come back after the fact, throw a little bit of oil-based kills on here, right? And I can change the way this is finished. Oh, come on. You little pain in the ass. That's just maddening. I'm gonna lose my mind. We're gonna do this one more time. So help me God. And away we go. Here we go. Now to demonstrate this, just want to make sure your tape is on real secure. And the plastic folds out. And they come in different dimensions. This one's supposed to go to 4 feet, okay? Which is great, and there we are. This is longer than I need, obviously. The secret to making this work really well is to have a second roll of tape on hand. 1 second. I don't have a second roll of bloody tape. When you're done, fold your tape over so you can always find it, okay? And these inconsistencies that I'm gonna have on this type of window, because it's aluminum, it can be painted, but because there's caulking and because of the detail, what I'm gonna do here is I'm going to just tape it up so that I'm protecting the glass. And then after I'm all done here, I'm gonna come back and I'm going to take a brush and I'm gonna make a proper cut line up against this outside ridge, okay? I'm not gonna do the entire window frame. Now, you can do if you wanna do the entire window frame, you can tape off the glass specifically. It's your call. I'm pretty sure at some point down the road here, the rest of these windows are going to get switched out as well. And if you want to know how to do that process, we did a video a couple weeks ago. I'll put the link in the video description for you. This type of window in a lot of cases is in stock and ready to be installed, and it just takes a couple of tools and a little bit of knowledge to know how to weatherproof it. And so that could be a money saver for you if you want to change your own windows out if you have a manufactured home. I'm going to show you a little secret for doing this kind of stuff, guys. Don't start at the edge, all right? Give yourself a little bit of wiggle room, okay? Tape to past the window, and then when you take your knife, don't cut through all the tape first. Cut through all the plastic first. And until you've cut through all that plastic, you don't want to let go of that tape. Oh, hell. Me had problems anyway. All right. This is going to happen, right? Frustrations. There we go. Not a big deal. Once you got plastic out for all your windows, you're going to have to do minor repairs and stuff. It's not an issue. Last time we have to use that stupid gizmo today. I'm going to put the links in the video description for everything we're using, okay? So now we can take this, we can reset this exactly where we want it, because we have the width set up. Figures it won't be long enough for the window. That's awesome. Now, we're going to cover the face right down here to this corner, and if we can, get the plastic and the edge around the corner. If not, just go with the second row. This is kind of fussing around. Takes a little bit of time and energy to be exact, but this is where the money is. You want a good looking job, you gotta mask off properly. Because all your lines you wanna make perfect. This is where, remember, everything that's not covered in tape is gonna be painted. Around the corner, my metal, I'm going to be painting, okay? Important to not cover it up with tape if you want paint on it. Right to the screw head here. This is the difference between a homeowner and when you hire a painter. Taking the time to do the detail. This is why doing it yourself makes a lot of sense, because nobody else is going to spend that much attention to detail on your house. That is perfect every time. That is why as homeowners we do this, because we can make it perfect. If you're the kind of person who gets disappointed with the quality of the contractor, you're the kind of person that should be doing this yourself. This is just to stretch this plastic out. Okay, here we go. Now there's another option here. Get down to the bottom. I know tape's expensive, but if you want to save yourself the frustration of running another line, there's no reason you can't cover it like this. You're just going to be throwing 50 cents of tape in the garbage, which is fine. All right, here we go. Little detail, but that's window. I don't want that window painted. And other detail, that's aluminum. Try not to slide your fingers along aluminum. You'll come to realize in a quick hurry how sharp that stuff is. All right, remember, once you're set up, this tape is good for 7 days in sunshine and until it rains. If you need to spend a whole day getting prepped and coming back tomorrow to paint, that's quite all right. Remember, the different color of tape is not because it's better or whatever, it just deals with UV. So green is for 3 days, blue is for 7 or 14 days. Just check the packaging on your label to make sure. Different companies have different warranties on it. All right, now I'm just gonna finish taping up the other window. We'll jump into me. All right guys, we're back here getting ready. We're prepping for painting all of our siding. Hedges that are close to the house. Now check out my gap here. There's something you need to know. Organics. Hedges are organic. If your hedge is up against your house, you're trapping moisture because the sun can't get in there to dry things. And you're creating an environment where water is prolific and doesn't move around, it just sits. So, making sure that your hedges are cleared away from your house is actually key in a lot of cases, keeping moisture from growing. For us, it means that we can paint this and we're not gonna get the hedge in the paint. Here's another secret for you. After you trimmed your hedge, to create space so that you can get room to get the paint job in there. Well, the bush needed a good trim anyway, didn't it? Show me a bush that doesn't need a good trim. All right, you're gonna think I'm crazy. But this trick for painting requires an extra person. Not a lot of cases, this is a one-person job, right? But if you find yourself and you got lots of hedges close to your house, take a paint tarp. And this is not designed to cover the hedge so you don't get paint on it. This is a secret that you can use to create clearance. Pull the tarp all the way down to the bottom on the back side here. There we go. Now grab a hold of the middle of the side. Ready? And this is best if you have a neighbor who can give you a hand. All right, or a dog who really likes to grab a hold of things and give a good twist. But I'm gonna get my camera guy, take a look at the back side while I pull this and show you how much space we're gonna gather. Ready? Heave. No, I'm not down low enough, am I? Okay, here we go. Now I got it. I don't know. All right, ready? Does that open up? Now while you're holding that, somebody else can come by and paint. Gives you two things. Protects your hedge from the painting. It pulls the hedge open so you can get a paint gun in here. Let's get the pressure washer kicked in, get this all washed, and today we're gonna wash. Tomorrow we're gonna paint. It's always best to let it dry overnight. Be surprised how much water you're gonna push up and behind the siding. Try painting too early, you're gonna make a mess. All right guys, when you're setting up a sprayer the first time, it's relatively simple. This just has to be threaded off. It's just a cap to protect it. And you can save this for storage, and then no threading, no nothing, okay? This is a flared finish. It just goes on there like that. Finger tight isn't enough. Throw a wrench on there. Oh, throw a wrench on there and give it a quarter turn. If you over tighten, you're gonna split this nut right down the middle, okay? I know it looks like steel, but it's probably a brass alloy, so be gentle, okay? Keep this to the lowest setting, okay? This is where it says to start, okay? And then this is if you're using the roller. There is an attachment, so instead of spraying, it pumps paint into a roller. So make sure you got the right setting, okay? This is for a lot of paint in the roller. This is where you start if you're spraying. So we're gonna go from there. The idea here really is simple. Once we got this thing plugged in, when you get a brand new tool, resist the temptation to use a cheap cord. As a matter of fact, resist the temptation to even buy one. I am regretting this ever since I bought a 100-foot cord. Oh, I was like, oh, but it's cheap, yay. Can't use it on my tools, it doesn't have a ground. Drives me nuts. Now, let's get back to where I'm most comfortable. Yeah, and if you're watching this video and you realize, Jeff, you're moving pretty slow there by the ground, buddy. What's going on? Aren't aware. I ripped my hamstring, not at work. I never get injured at work. I only get injured when I'm playing. It's playing softball. So there we go. So now I got an injury there. I got this tendon and this muscle is overworked. My other knee's shot, my hip's going out. I got a physiotherapy appointment set up next week. I put myself back in condition now that I can walk again. Everything's all screwed up, so I gotta go back to school and learn how to walk. All right, we got two hoses here. This is an intake and this is a discharge. They uncouple. The recommendation is you put this in a separate pail, you run water through the pump, and then you put this into the paint, and then you run paint through the pump, and then when you see the paint come out, then you can take it back, blah, 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 blah. That just seems like a whole lot of work for nothing. Here's how I like to work it. Boom. Done. Okay. I'm officially set up and good to go. We have a power button over here. We got a little button. Okay, we're gonna turn on the power. We're gonna flick this switch over here, which is gonna pull material into just the pump, and it's gonna prime the pump. Where's my switch? You'll see that? Now it's charging the hose. Now everything's fully pressurized. Piece of cake. Now, we're not gonna start painting on low. We just prime the pump on low. See? Now it's creating more pressure. We're gonna start somewhere in the mid pressure. Don't worry, Leo, I'm not gonna shoot you. This gun, this little orange tip generally comes over here. All right, if you've seen other videos or I've used a sprayer, where did I use a sprayer recently? Yeah, it must have been the basement. I was showing you guys how to prime ceilings. I was in luck this time, they had the extension rod in stock. So you just take a wrench, disengage it, put it on. The same as at the other end, it's just brass, it's just a flare fitting. You put your tip where the arrow is pointing out, okay? Now, the key here, find somewhere to do a test. Keep old cardboard box or something, okay? That's not supposed to work like that. You'll notice it's spraying and then dripping all over the bloody place. Well, let's see if we can figure out why. We're gonna turn that right down to the lowest setting. Still dripping all over the place. Okay. Clean it out. No, still dripping all over the place. We're gonna go to more pressure. There we go. Now we're not dripping. That's good. Now let's check the spray. Okay, I like that. If you see where you have a line here and a line here, you might have too much or not enough pressure. But when you're painting, you want to paint a line and then do 50% overlay. 50% overlay. 50% overlay. And that gives you really good coverage, okay? Now we're going to just set this aside and we're going to get started. In this situation, I'm using an exterior paint that's designed for all-purpose materials. So I've got aluminum, I've got vinyl, pretty much just aluminum and vinyl. So I'm good to go. We're gonna start at the top. And if I get a little bit on my roof, that's okay. The only people who are gonna see it are from the airport and they're not looking that hard, okay? Always let go before you stop moving. Yeah, this is it. Now, once you got prepped, I'm telling you right now, anybody in the world can do this job, all right? This thing only weighs about 3 pounds. We're gonna get underneath. Okay, and this way. There we go. Let's do something in the corner. Now for simplicity, I'm just using one color on everything, all right? The downspouts I'm painting pure white with an enamel spray. and then we'll reinstall those later. Also, I'm working outside, so I'm not wearing glasses or a mask. There's no need to wear a mask outside when you're working. These volatile chemicals get pulled away by the breeze, and we are good to go. My house looks better already. All right, so let's go through this because there's going to be a couple of different ways to do this. But generally speaking, because of the shape of this molding, I have a very aggressive flat section, and then it comes out and it goes flat again. So as long as I'm spraying up at it, I'm getting all the surfaces. I don't have to go crazy. I want to be as close to straight as I can. Watch this. I'm going to just kind of go at about a 10 or 15 degree angle. Okay. I'm going to go right into that crack. 50% overlay. 50% overlay. Here we go. Take that all the way to the corner. Always letting go before you finish moving. You avoid the drips. All right. Now, when it comes to this area in here, we're going to intentionally be aggressive around that. Okay? And while I see the plastic is engaged really well, I'm going to just make sure I do all the spraying that's anywhere close to it. Now, if you see any drips, you can grab a paper towel and wipe them off. I've got a little bit of moisture because I've washed this about an hour ago. Yeah, see that? That's going to cause me some issues. I think what I'm going to actually do is I'm going to go in for lunch, let the sun do its job, finish drying this all off before I go and finish it off. I'm going to have to paint that again when that water dries up. And then I'm going to show you a trick because I want to show you how to do it around the bottom, and I want to show you how to use a spray shield, okay? So stick with us. So here we are. Benefit, right? Multiple materials. This is just aluminum, okay? It's a little nasty. It's been painted at some point, be dark instead of light. I don't know why. We're going to fix all of that. Remember, the window's masked off, so I'm not concerned about that. You can see 2 coats pretty much covers everything, okay? We'll give it about a half an hour to dry. I'll come back and hit it again if it's necessary, all right? Here we go. Freshen up that frame. Turn down the side of the house. Get that rail. And then we want to get underneath, okay? From both sides, spray 1/2, okay? When you hear that horrible noise, that means that your suction has been removed because you're down to about the last quarter of the gallon. Remember that paint to start us off is the entire hose plus what's in the pump plus the can. So you're not going to get as much out of the first gallon as you will the rest. Now instead of switching the cans out and making a mess, I'm going to just add some paint into this one, okay? Here we go. Very important, you don't want to change the project until you're finished with the paint. So what are you going to do with all that excess, right? Okay, here we go. Now we're back in business. Make sure we turn it back on. Turn it back up to speed. Okay, let's get back to work. I mentioned that I was going to show you about how to use the spray shield. We'll get into that in just a second. Let me just catch up with the bulk of this work. And we'll show you the spray shield. And then I'm going to show you a quick before and after this one area. Because when we started, this used to be 2 little windows, and then we moved one of the windows, and so we installed a new window, resized it. We brought this from the front of the house. That video is also in the video description. If you're new to the channel and you haven't seen it, that'll blow your mind how simple it is to make a major transformation. But here we go. Okay, so here's our spray shield. You can slide this in between materials and create a natural barrier, right? Now watch this. There we go. Now that edge is painted, okay? Now I'm gonna have to paint this after we're done, but for the demonstration I wanted to show you that. Now come on over on this side. Again, spray shield down here. If I can't get underneath, I just get up to it. The other thing you can do is you can come up to the organics on your building, okay? And you can cut them and peel them out of the way. Yeah, and I know that siding's in rough shape, but we can repair that after the fact once we get the color established. It's not perfect, but trust me, these organics are gonna be here forever. Now, Now I'm going to show you how to use this up against a window. I'm going to go over here, like that. Okay, if you're feeling brave, you can just put it up against your window. There we go. Now, the moment you all been waiting for. Let's throw on the screen a quick before and after. You tell me if it was worth the work. Well, here we are, guys. Last day of painting. We actually finished all of this closing up and caulking of the facade, but the weather was just too hot. It was a little too windy. We got a little bit of a breeze today, but it's a lot cooler. So one of the rules about this business, take your weather when you can get it, right? Stop what you're doing and finish what you've got started. We're just going to paint the rest of this out, and then we'll have a nice after shot when we're finished. In case you're wondering, no, I'm not covering the door. I'm actually going to change it out when it's all done with a brand new white one. So that new white door goes all the way to this trim to that edge of where I'm painting. And then I'm going to seal it up with a little bit of white quad, so it'll be fine. Go ahead and finish the rest of the painting. I got the rest of the carport to do. If you like this video and you appreciate what we're doing for you, then hit the like button, subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet, because we're going to do the entire inside from top to bottom. We're going to show you all the little projects that you can do at home that you can use to modify your house to a better lifestyle for yourself, okay? And learn some equity in your property while you're at it. Now, in a couple seconds, we're just going to show you the last couple shots. We'll give you a quick sweep so you can see the project finished. Cheers to next time.